time for the Loco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj.
Hey, Loco sports fans, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr with you for now. Max Araj coming along a little bit later, and we'll also have another guest for this Monday night edition of the Loco Sports Lowdown, brought to you by Mickelson Law Firm, our all-star sponsor and original sponsor of Loco Sports. Been with us since the beginning. They can help you with all your legal needs. They're right in downtown Bluffton. They're our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. But as I mentioned, they can help you with all your legal needs. They do everything over at Mickelson Law Firm, and it seems like they support everything local sports. You see their banners all over the place when you go out and about, and we appreciate their support of not only us, but everything local sports. So please support Mickelson Law Firm with your legal needs. And we also have, let's see. We'll talk a little high school football. We got the Bridge Bowl from Friday, as well as the first round of the Skiza playoffs. We have brackets now, so we'll go through those. And we have the star of that Bridge Bowl, Troy Timko, going to join us in just a little bit. Wes, how was your weekend, buddy?
It was a good one. Yeah, I was over at the Great Be at the Cove for the first time in a while to get the women's basketball season started. Tough result there for that squad, but still, we talked about last night in St. Chuck Real, and we'll go into it again today for those who missed it. But this basketball team, injuries have been aplenty, but still compete hard out there, and I was able to kick back on Sunday, a nice afternoon. So. Yeah, it's pretty outside this time of year before it gets kind of chilly. In the winter, this is always really nice. So, I had a nice weekend and just super pumped for what could be another big week of Loco sports. We have a bunch of football. What a slate on Friday. I mean, it's a unique slate because not only do we have a couple incredible second round skis matchups, we have the first round of high school league playoffs, and so it's a lot of games. Alongside a Loco on Loco playoff game in the high school league in round one between May River and Bluffton. So a crazy good slate coming up. On top of that, we still have a volleyball team competing for a state championship that they will play tomorrow, the May River Sharks at Aiken. So could be a very, very exciting week throughout the Loco sports scene. I believe cross country is in postseason mode as well.
Yeah, I think they're lower state this week. Is that right? This Saturday, I think. We're getting down to it, and we've got winter sports teams starting to gear up and practice, and they'll be playing in a couple of weeks. So it's coming at us fast, man. But let's not keep him up too late on a school night. Let's get our guest in here and the man of the hour, Troy Timko. What's going on, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, and welcome back to the show. We had you on what seems like an eternity ago, but that's a credit to how long you've the staying power you've had, because this is your third season of being a big dog for Hilton Head, and your third season going over 1,000 yards rushing, which you did on Friday night with your 270 yards on 24 carries. Before we get into that too much, how's that knee, man? You the last time we saw you were holding your knee.
Hyperextended on Friday, but it's getting better every day. I was at practice today. I was doing most of the stuff. I'll be good by Friday. That's the plan.
Good deal. That's what we wanted to hear, because it was scary.
Yeah,
it was scary.
Yeah.
Especially after the night you had, to see you go down and grab that knee. It was like, oh man, especially you had just put it in the end zone, got called back.
Yeah.
You can check our Instagram to see what I thought about that holding call. But you just put it in the end zone, then you had to run it again and you got hurt. And I was like, oh no, man. But that's fantastic to hear that you should be good to go on Friday against Crestwood. But take us back to Friday night. You were an absolute animal. What got into you, man?
Yeah, the whole team, we were just came ready to play. I mean, I had a great game, but I definitely couldn't have done it without the rest of my offense, my O-line especially, my coaching. We were all on point on Friday, which is what we needed to have.
And it was a capper to a tremendous run through this region. You guys becoming the virtual county or Beaufort County champions. You knocked off May River, you knocked off Bluffton, and you took down Beaufort as alongside Colleton County. So number 2 finish in the region. Tremendous year. Kind of take me full circle on this season about the expectations from when you started and when you really got going. I look back to that win at home over Hampton County, when that was an important victory to really boost the momentum heading the region plays. Tell me about the scope of this season and how you guys transition into being the very strong team that you are now heading the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last 2, 3 years, we've been 3-7, but we knew, I feel like everyone thought in the offseason we could really put this together. I mean, every day, everyone's coming, working hard. And we just, even if no one else believed, we believed in what we had and what we could be. And it's just staying dedicated, going to practice every day, going to all the lifts, going to all the meetings. And everyone as a team, we're bought in, and we're just, I mean, we're ready to prove how good we can really be. And it's just been kind of uh, I guess we've been getting good karma back from all of that. And it's been a pretty good season so far.
That's a good point. I mean, you guys had a couple of deceptive 3-7 seasons there where
Right.
you had a
A lot of
bunch of
close.
close games. You were right
Yeah.
in, and you're one play away or one player away. And I mean, last season it felt like you got off to a great start, and then the injuries set in, and you faded at the end. But it always felt like you guys were close. And so, what's been the difference this year? What's kind of put you guys over the top? Connor Wendell mentioned just the senior class and the leadership, but I'm curious about your perspective.
Yeah, I'd say more of the same. I mean, the senior class has been together, playing together for years. Our
Yeah.
chemistry as a team is just really good. I mean, we're all pretty much best friends. Always together, and just I feel like a lot closer than just the last couple of years, because we've just been getting closer these last couple of years,
Right.
but definitely able to work together. We love seeing each other succeed. It's not someone saying, I want it to be me. We want it to be us. We want it to be the whole team.
You have been the driving force offensively once again in the backfield, but a big part has been your teammate right there, and Thaddeus Zarnecki,
Oh,
alongside others. So just talk about the emergence of Zarnecki this year, what he has done, what caught your eye when you first started seeing the possibility of what he could do out there in practice, and kind of how you two have been able to work together to generate that success ground this year.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He showed it a bit towards the end of last season, but I mean, he's a workhorse. I mean, he's there at practice with everyone else, working super hard. He'll stay after practice and work. He's a really good player, and he's gonna just get even better. I'm really excited to see the rest of this season and the next season how good he turns out, because I mean, he's really good.
I mean, he does something that you don't do, which is he goes over there and plays middle linebacker when he's
Yeah,
not running the ball. I mean, you have to have a lot of respect for him to be able to play on that side of the ball and play as key a role as he does, and then be able to spell you when you need it on the other side. And you guys are such a great uh, kind of thunder and lightning duo. I mean, you both got a little bit of both in you. I said that Friday night on the WSAV broadcast. You're a little more thunder and he's a little more lightning, but you both
yeah.
got the whole package. So it's a handful for people to defend. You guys didn't really even have to throw it on Friday night. You hit one big pass to Carson Haynes, but I think only 3 completions. So just didn't have to do it, and that has to make you feel good as the running backs and the offensive line to be like, yeah, our boy Derek didn't even have to put it in the air.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we kind of gave him an easy night, but we definitely felt good as a team. But also, I mean, if we need to throw, we definitely can. We have the guys to do that. So I think that's another reason how well we've been playing. We're so diverse and dynamic, so teams don't really know how to prepare.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what makes you tough to defend when you're able to provide that strong ground game, but also the emergence of your guy in your center and Renishevsky. I
Hmm.
mean, to see what he has done throwing the football, because we talked about the run game so much, but a couple of big throws, the May River game, then against Bluffton. So, how important is it for this team to have the confidence that you can provide that run game, and then when you're able to take a shot, you have a chance to make that home run pass play with a guy like Rajewski. Just how much has he improved just from what you have seen from him over the course of this year? And I mean, how excited are you for what he can do as he gets ready to play in the postseason?
Yeah, he's been getting. I mean, he's awesome. Derek definitely goes out there, works. He knows what he has to do. He does what he's told, and he can make those clutch passes when he needs to as well. And it's a blessing to have.
I was so impressed with how he bounced back after that Bishop England game because, and I said it and I felt kind of bad because I said it like the night before, like, he's going to have a rough game at some point. It's not going to be smooth sailing his whole career. And then he had a rough game. And, but man, he has bounced back in a big way. You
Mhm.
didn't see his confidence wane at all. What did you see from him in the aftermath of that? And, were you confident from what you had seen before that he was going to be able to weather the storm and get back on track after that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have full trust in him. Him and I joke around. We say like, be a goldfish, have that short-term
Yeah.
memory,
Ted
just move
Lasso.
on. And
Yep.
that's,
Ted
I mean, that's
Lasso.
what we did. That's what we did. And now, I mean, he's on a roll. The whole team's on a roll. So I definitely have all the faith in the world in him.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just take me through this past game against Bluffton. I mean, it wasn't just a strong victory. I mean, it was a decisive knockouts.
Boat race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the squad. So, how did you approach this game? Obviously, you knew how big the stakes were, but talk about how you guys executed the game plan on Friday night and then locked down defensively against a high octane Bluffton offense.
Yeah, I mean, our game plan is just, I guess, just play our football, play Hilton Head football, and we knew we'd have to go out right out of the gate and go full speed from the start to finish because we know Bluffton. I mean, they got a pretty good offense. They can go out there and score quick, but our defense came prepared, our offense came prepared, special teams came prepared, and we also knew even after those first couple touchdowns, we can't let up against a team like that. So our coaches definitely help continue to push us. Just don't stop until it hits quadruple zeros. And that's, I mean, that's how we got the score we wanted.
It was impressive. It was impressive.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bluffton was a little hamstrung, and being without Cordell was a big blow to their offense. But I was so impressed with y'all's defensive game plan. Because I talked to BJ before the game, and he's like, "This is kind of hard. Like, we don't know what they're going to come out in." He was expecting a lot of empty, but he didn't know, who was going to be like the featured back if they had one. So, but I thought they did a great job of kind of predicting what it was going to look like. And then Thaddeus was just amazing spying Aiden in the middle. It was unreal to watch him. And Aiden was just so frustrated. Your coverages were so confusing too. You're dropping guys and just rushing four, and he just couldn't get any clean looks or clean reads at the line. It was awesome. It was awesome to watch. The defense has been impressive, and you get to watch that from the sidelines. How fun are those boys to watch?
It's pretty cool. I mean, seeing your best buds go out there and week after week, I mean, put in the work and dominate out there. It's awesome to be able to be on the sidelines right there cheering them on. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, it's great to see this program turn in the other direction this year. We mentioned it, and you mentioned it. Just a couple of close losses in region play where you were right there, and you just ain't able to close out games. So it's got to feel good to be able to be on the other side of that and picking up not just close wins but decisive wins. So yeah, just tell me how the vibes are this year compared to what you've seen in the past, and just going off of the fact that everyone's been buying in and you kind of are playing everyone's playing their role, and it's become a collective sum of something that has been greater than we've seen the last couple of years. So how excited are you to be a part of this Hilton High football team right now?
It's awesome. I mean, we're just happy to keep playing football. Like last couple of years, I mean, close loss after close loss, it got pretty demoralizing. But now, I mean, we're going out there, we're doing what we intend to do, and it's super fun to be out there winning. So we just want to keep on winning. That's the plan.
The wins are like dopamine hits too. Like it's
Yeah.
the opposite of demoralizing. They just
hmm
build on each other and the confidence grows. But I want to take a little wider view for people who may be new to the area or new to following high school sports here, and just show people your production over the last 3 years here. You've rushed for 3,383 yards and 34 touchdowns over the past 3 seasons, and added 428 receiving yards. So you're coming up on 4,000 total yards. You're pretty close to it, which is unbelievable. Those numbers have to stagger you too. I mean, just like you never could have imagined having a high school career like this, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just honestly, it's surprising, but the stats are cool. But right now, definitely, I care a lot more about wins and losses over it. But it's
Yeah.
definitely still, it's really cool to have. And once again, I couldn't do it without my teammates and my coaches. I mean, they're there every day with me. They're the ones helping the team, helping me get better. So it's definitely more than just a me effort.
Let me use that as an opportunity for you to shout out that offensive line because, man, they were impressive on Friday night. Hayden Crockett was
Yes.
tremendous. Evan Wilder was a beast, but who am I missing? I mean, they're all doing work up there.
You got Aaron Stafford, Jack Boatwright, Andrew Jeffrey, Samari
Yep.
Richardson came in. We got a ton of guys just always being there, always helping me. They're the best. They're the
You
best.
like to put your hand on their back and follow them through there, too.
Yeah, growing up, I was a Steeler fan. I watched Le'Veon Bell do that a lot, and I just kind of
Yes,
it's
yes,
almost
the
like I took it
patience.
from him.
Yep, that's
Andrew
what.
Davis mentioned Le'Veon Bell during the broadcast the other night,
Yeah,
and that's hilarious that's actually
right.
where it came from.
And we see that in your game with the patience just to find those holes. That's what made Le'Veon Bell such a great back for the
Hmm.
Steelers. And yeah, I mean that's really cool to see you model your type of game after someone you watched growing up. So that's kind of cool. But we also covered your older sister Gianna Timko playing basketball. So kind of how fun has it been just competing and working alongside your siblings and your family and kind of how fun have you had with your time at Hilton Head so far?
Yeah, it's been great. My family and I, we've all been surrounded by sports. I mean, my sister played basketball. I went to all of her games. She tries to come to as many of mine as I can, but I love even when she's not there, she'll be texting me throughout the game. Like she'll be trying to watch every broadcast she can. But yeah, my time here has been great. It's the environment, atmosphere, everything about it's awesome. And I really love my time here.
BJ Payne in his post game interview with WSAV the other night, I had the headset on, so I got to listen in, and he called you a dude, a dog, criminally under recruited, and I echoed that sentiment on social media today after Friday's performance. But I mean, we've been on you for a long time. I can't believe you're still not getting more looks than you are. But where's the recruitment, and what's your kind of pitch to coaches who may be on the fence? Why do they need to go ahead and send that offer?
I mean, I'll outwork anybody. I'm there academically, physically. I'm gonna be at the top. I can definitely show. I can prove to people. I can prove to coaches that I can be a guy that can help change the program for the better.
The proof's in
And
the
that was
pudding, man. The tape don't lie.
Hey, it's one thing saying that, and then the other thing is just actually proving out there. And for 3 straight years, I mean, the consistency that you've brought to this team, to this program, is something special and something that we don't see very often. I mean, straight 1,000-yard seasons. That's doing something at the high school level. So, really proud on you for that, for what you have done, and just how do you think you have grown as a competitor, as a player, and as running back out there in terms of your position? What would have been the biggest changes and alterations to your game that have made you even more lethal out there and as have been so important to this team's success?
I'd say I think a lot of it just comes repetition. Like even if it's the same stuff, just continuously getting my cuts better, getting my vision better, and that all comes from just practice and my coaches helping me. But yeah, I'd say just being repetitive, making it more just like I don't want to say a job, but making it just like part of my daily schedule. Uh,
Yep.
and that's definitely been a big part in just shaping who I am as a player now.
Yep. Make being great routine.
Yes,
Like
sir.
just make that your routine. I was just looking at your game by games this year, and because I know you've been able to carry a little lighter load this year because of Thaddeus. You
Hmm.
got really worn down by the end of the last couple of seasons. I felt like because you just carried it so many times. But you've got like barely over half as many carries this year as you did the last couple of seasons. But you're picking up steam as the season goes
Hmm.
on. The carries are going up, which is that's the plan, right? Was there a concerted effort to kind of keep you fresh for the stretch run?
Uh, I don't know if that was really the plan. That's just kind of how it shaped out. I mean,
Yeah,
we
just
have
didn't
a
have to
ton
use
of
you that much early.
Yeah, exactly. We just have a ton of weapons, so why don't use them all, right?
Yeah.
So that's been the approach, and I don't think that's gonna change. I mean, just keep using what we have, and hopefully the
Take what the
same results
defense gives
happen.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
take what the defense gives you big time. But you got 8 touchdowns the last 3 games, buddy. Getting that nose for the end zone.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me about the opportunity that is presented for this squad on Friday night, home playoff game. It is rare, at least the last few years, to have one at Hilton High. This
In a
team has
minute.
not won one since the 2015 season, so it's an opportunity to really make a mark in this program if you guys are able to come out on top on Friday against Crestwood. So, have you done any initial looking and viewing of some film or other information about this Crestwood team? What do you hope to expect out there, and how are you approaching getting ready for this opportunity on Friday?
Yeah, we've been looking at some film. We have some ideas, but really, whatever Crestwood does, it doesn't change what we do. I mean, we're just gonna keep playing Hilton Head football. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna try and be the most physical team, be the most entertaining team, and be the team having the most fun. And that fun comes from winning. So that's gonna be what we're gonna go. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna win. That's the plan.
It's more fun to win, baby. It's
Yeah.
way more fun to win. But yeah, this Crestwood team is a handful. I don't know, I haven't dived into the personnel that much to know how many of the guys are the same as last year. But that team last year was really strong. Took out Buford
Mm.
in the playoffs after Buford came back and beat them in a crazy game during that state championship run.
Right.
So it's a good program. Should be a fun
Yeah.
game. But the other game is really interesting too. The May River Bluffton
Oh,
game.
yeah.
We knew that whoever lost that game on Friday night was going to have a rematch with May River, and I don't think anybody wanted any part of that because you already got them once. You don't want to play with fire again. But what do you think about that matchup, May River Bluffton Part Two?
Yeah, that's gonna be super cool. Honestly, I thought the first time that May River was gonna win that, and then I saw that it didn't. I have no clue what's gonna happen this Friday, but it's definitely gonna be another really good game between two good teams, and I'm gonna definitely be checking my phone after my game to see what happens there.
You'll be watching Loco Pigskin Live,
Yeah,
right?
there you
Definitely
go.
go home, sit on the
Yeah,
TV and turn that on.
yeah. Yeah, but Troy, what's been the best, most exciting parts of this season? What was the looking full picture? We talked about Hampton. We talked about the even the losses to teams like James Island and the Bishop. And you were competitive in those games. So, do you think that you guys need to continue to display those efforts that you've seen, and what's going to be the biggest factor in terms of this opportunity to put yourselves over the top and capture a playoff win?
I think just not losing focus on the task at hand and just continuing to be out there. And I mean, we got to treat every game like it's the biggest game of our lives, which it is. But we can't even for a second try and think in the future, think about anything else. Like today, practice. I mean, the focus was on today, and tomorrow the focus will be on tomorrow until it gets to Friday. Then the focus will be on that game. So definitely just don't lose focus and do our jobs.
Just keep drilling down. Next
What,
game,
yeah,
next
next game
play, next
mentality
rep,
versus
next
yeah,
whatever.
right. Real
Focus on
quick,
what's in front of you.
yeah, BJ Payne. I mean, how awesome has it been to play under him and his mentality and what have you learned as a not just as a player but as a young man and as an athlete to be coached by someone who has brought so much talent towards the next level and even to the league beyond that. So, I mean, how rewarding has it been for you to be coached by Payne and what have you gained and learned from the experience?
Yeah, he's a great coach, but he's also a great person, and he wants that to reflect on the football team. And even throughout coaching, through playing, he wants to make sure that we're all becoming better people as well. But football wise, I mean, he has such a good mind for the game, and like even like listen to him scouting and talking. It's crazy like all like the keys he picks up. But yeah, great coach, better person, and he makes sure that reflects on the players and that we become better people as well. So he's
I was gonna
pretty
say
good guy.
I'm curious how much he grinds film because he seems like an absolute animal when it comes to that. And then I know Beach does too. Beach
Mhm.
is his right hand man in it. But how much you feel like he puts just crazy hours into that?
Yeah, I feel like per week it's got to be, I want to say like upwards of maybe 30 hours of film. It's maybe even more. He's constantly, I mean, you'll see him at school and he's on his computer watching film. So
Grinding film,
yeah,
grinding it. Yeah,
definitely put it in the
he
work.
Man, he definitely he sees the game inside and out, and he hasn't always had the Jimmies and Joes. He hasn't always had the athletes to be able to compete at the level that you guys have had to play at, 4A level. But this year it seems like there's some solid depth, and you've managed to stay healthy, which is those kind of go hand in hand. If you can shuttle people in and out, then you're going to keep people healthier. But speak a little bit to just the work that you guys have put in to get your bodies right, training staff, all that stuff, how you've been able to keep people on the field this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, it all goes back to practicing. I mean, this year, we practice full speed. So whenever we go into games, it's not like we're getting taken by surprise. We're not,
Yeah,
which I mean, injuries happen because you're not up to full speed. So
right.
we're just out there. We're prepared. Our trainer AJ. He helps us lift, takes care of us. I mean, helps us with what to eat. I mean, just the whole coaching staff, the whole team. It's been 100% every day, and I mean it works out.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have everyone involved, and the coaching staff has done a great job molding this team. Most importantly, you can't forget the trainers and everyone who works behind the scenes to keep you, in the best shape possible. And nutrition is an important part of that, and I'm sure the conditioning and the workouts and time in the weight room that's how much is that stressed, especially when you can see the fruits of it now as you get later to the year. You mentioned the offensive line, what they've been doing, but
Hmm.
just how hard has this team worked, even more so this year, be behind the scenes for what we've seen out there in the field.
Yeah, I mean we're still even like during the season, even now we're still grinding in the weight room. We're still conditioning ourselves at practice, and it doesn't stop just because we're playing games. We're still going in there, lifting as much as we can, going till failure, and then going right out after, going to practice. I mean, playing until it feels like our legs are gonna fall off, then going home, getting that full recovery like we're supposed to, eating right, sleeping right. And it's just and just doing all of that, making it a routine.
Yep. You get out what you put in,
Yeah,
and that can be related to a bunch of different things, including your nutrition, your work, all those things. So you guys are obviously putting in the work this year and getting out great results, and we hope you can keep it rolling against Crestwood on Friday and into
sir.
the playoffs, man. We're counting on somebody to carry the flag for the Loco, and you guys are taking the mantle. You're number one in our power rankings and have knocked off everybody in the area. So been a great year. But Troy, before we let you go, man, what are you looking to study at the next level?
College, I think I want to study either political science or history. That stuff
Okay.
really interests
Okay.
me. I've been looking, it's pretty cool to me. So definitely something like that.
All right. Very
That's
cool. So
awesome.
if you're looking for
And
a
what about you?
bruising running
Yeah,
back who wants to study poli sci and history, come get
Yes,
Troy
sir.
Timko.
yeah, just talk about what your time so far on Hilton Head has meant to you. You've been here for a couple of years now, and just talk about this community and this group of Seahawks that have helped shape you as you get ready to embark on that next journey.
Yeah, I mean, these last 4 years, it's been almost a dream come true. I mean, definitely nervous going into high school, moving from a completely new place. But I mean, the team and the whole community brings you in. They treat you like one of your own. And it's just, I mean, just working together, picking each other up. I mean, pushing each other to be the best person they can be, whether that's football, school, the workplace, anything like that. It's one big community that all supports each other, and it's definitely a great place to be.
Awesome,
And
man. Well, thanks so much. Oh, go ahead, Wes.
you were here in
Sorry.
21, correct? So you were in the
Yes,
past
sir.
where you got to see Jalen Sneed play.
Yeah.
as going into that. So, I mean, just talk about the alumni base and how important that has been to the growth of this team, and how awesome it is to see alumni playing at the college level and at the NFL, and how that motivates you and your teammates to continue on that right track record to have a chance to continue to play, or at least continue to make that program proud throughout
Yeah.
your career.
Yeah, I mean, seeing all those people that like even like we know and we're close with going out there succeeding in college and knowing what they did to get to that point, it definitely pushes us, like knowing we could do that too, as long as we kind of follow in their footsteps and kind of look at the blueprint and then trying to impersonate that. So it's cool to look at, and especially when they come back, just telling us to keep working, keep doing what we're supposed to be doing, and it's gonna work out. So definitely really blessed to have that opportunity.
I'm glad you said that because, for years there was a little bit of criticism of BJ, like, well, he's got all these D1 players. Why doesn't he win more type thing, And I always said, well, because it takes, like 40 guys to win football games, not 3. But I think part of the long game and the long range view for him was, if I can show kids, if I can build a blueprint that, look, you saw this kid when he was a freshman, and now you see what he's doing as a senior and he's going to play college football, then you can get kids to buy in and get on that path. And it seems like we're, seeing the long range payoff now of like, oh, a bunch of kids are now bought into, oh, Cole DeMarzo was a skinny 14-year-old who is now a big, huge linebacker at Wyoming, so people are seeing that transformation really can take place. You really can get there from where you are, not only geographically, but physically, and all of that. So, I think that's paying off, man. I think you guys are totally bought in that it can happen for me too. So I'm glad you connected those dots.
Yeah, definitely.
Right on, man. Well, we'll let you go because we've kept you too long already, but we appreciate you jumping on with us. Thanks to Coach Steve for setting it up. If I could have picked, any guest tonight, it would have been Troy Timko, and Coach Steve delivered him without me even have to do any work. So we appreciate that, and appreciate you, man. And congrats on all your success. It's been a pleasure to watch you, and we look forward to seeing you at least a couple more games.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, take care, buddy.
You too.
Troy Timko, outstanding stuff. We had him once before. He was a little younger, no less eager, a little more polished now, as you'd expect as a senior, a little more maturity, a little more. But man, that's the total package. Somebody's getting a good one.
Yeah, great kid, and we knew that from the first time we saw him start for this team. We talked about him immediately because of how impressive he looked in the backfield, but most importantly, how humble he was as a person and how committed he was as a person. And you've seen that with 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. It is, like I said, very hard to do at this level, especially in 4A football, where you're going up against some tough matchups every week. And give a lot of credit to what he has done for that program, and would love to see him cap it off with a playoff win at home, because, like I said, it's been a while since the Seahawks have been able to get one. So making me proud as an alum of this team, and I cannot be more excited to go out there, because I have there was a playoff game a couple of years ago. They played Wilson at home.
Yeah, 2019. That was the last.
Ended well. But the last win we mentioned was back in 2015. So it has been almost 10 years. So hoping that will change on Friday. I believe it will, but certainly going to be a tough test, that Crestwood team. We've seen them a lot. And I love how you mentioned that Buford game in 2022. Oh boy, does that bring back some memories. That was a crazy playoff game. Buford, they come from behind. It didn't look good late. They were able to win that one. That was a wild.
It was a miraculous comeback.
But,
that was a crazy game. That was the Colton Ferris game.
Yes.
He went bananas in the second half of that game. That game was amazing. To me, that was like the flagship win of that run. Like that was the one that you're like, well, there's no way out of this. And then the Duke boys jump across the canyon.
Powdersville. They had to come back against Powdersville They were down in that one.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that
yeah,
was
and clearly that one with the no passes
right.
thing, that was that was unreal. That was unreal. But Crestwood, we've got some history with them now after the last few years, and it's a scary matchup. It really is. You don't want to see that region. That's the scary region, and so I was a little worried about that. But I just think I don't know. We'll get into our pick later in the week, but I'm pretty sold on this Hilton Head team. They are really sound. They are
Uh,
really sound. But let me read some sponsors before we shift gears here. We've got our MVP sponsors. We already told you about our all-star sponsor, Mickelson Law Firm. Our MVP sponsors, Base Hit Life provides apparel, baseball and softball themed apparel. It doesn't really feel like hoodie season right now, but it has been and will be hoodie season. Sometimes, some parts of the day it is. They have some cool hoodies over at Base Hit Life. So you can check out basehitlife.com and live your best base hit life with cool tees, hats, sweatshirts, and more. We've also got homegrown home inspections, official home inspectors, best in the Lowco. If you're building a new home, you got to have their phased inspection. They'll check on it every step of the way and make sure it's built right with homegrown home inspections. Hospice Care of the Low Country provides palliative care, hospice care, and free grief counseling, plus much more. It's a great nonprofit hospice care right here in Southern Beaufort County. At Hospice Care of the Low Country, it's not about dying, it's about living. And the USCB Center for Low Country Hospitality Education is over on Hilton Head. That's where they do the hospitality training, but they've also got the Bluffton ambassadors. In addition to the island ambassadors, you can learn all about our community and the Low Country, the history, the culture, and how you can be a more productive citizen, so to speak, and let people know more about our area through the USCB Center for Low Country Hospitality Education. Those are our MVP sponsors. Couple things on the docket. We'll talk some football when Max gets in here, but a couple other things. First off, before we get to talking about May River volleyball a little bit, I wanted to share some wrestling news. Zeo Estrada, we've talked about much over the last few years, no longer in the Loco because now she's competing at William Penn University NAIA program. They're ranked in the top 10. I think they're like number 5 in the most recent rankings. But Zeo's off to a great start. She opened her career with a 10-6 decision over Catherine Heath of Baker, number 4 ranked in the nation in NAIA. Baker, also small world, is where my niece is a wrestler. She's not in the lineup yet. She's a freshman, but she's at Baker. And that's who Zeo opened against. And then they went to the Waldorf Open, and Zeo won the 117-pound title with 4 tech falls and then a pin in the finals in 1 minute and 8 seconds. So she's breezing her way through the competition so far and has jumped up to number 11 in the national rankings in her weight class already. And I suspect she'll keep climbing as the season goes on. So that's cool to see. And then another cool thing, wrestling related, Gunnar DeGroat from Battery Creek, 2-time state champ over there. Let me see if I can find this. I've got some cool photos to share. He's at the Citadel, wrestling at the Citadel now, and they had an incredible event over the weekend. Share this tab, where they held a duel on the USS Yorktown.
Oh, wow.
So we've got a few shots that John Rutherford, Alex Rutherford got. You can see the water in the background there. Let me go full screen on this. Super cool setup. They put the mat out on the Yorktown and they had a duel. And then Drayshawn Brown, some more wrestling news, getting a W for Newberry, another guy from Battery Creek. So pretty cool stuff, man. Battery Creek Wrestling, Gunnar DeGroat at the Citadel.
Yeah, cool. Two high school athletes that I really enjoyed watching. Zaya when she competed for Hilton High, and then in the club scene as well. She was dominating guys and girls and pretty much whoever she had to face, and now she's doing it at the next level. And same thing for DeGroats. Man, we talked about him a lot, but it seemed like not enough. He was just always so solid for Creek and such a big centerpiece of those successful Dolphins teams the last few seasons he was there. So he was so fun to see, watch, and man, he held his own against anybody out there. It seemed at Creek. I was always captivated by watching him, and it's great to see the wrestling careers continue. I mean, it just seems like continuing from what we saw before with guys in the past, getting opportunities to do it at the collegiate level, and the tradition just continuing on, and especially at a program like Hilton Head, a program at Creek, and the coaching staffs that have done a fantastic job building these young men, young women. We're in such a great place right now, wrestling wise, and rather than to talk about them and the amazing work that they do in their programs all year round, and all the coaches that make it possible. So we're ready for another season of wrestling, and almost time to fire up the Lowco grind once again as we get head first into it, because we are not too
Yeah,
far.
we got one in last weekend. Kind of
Yeah,
to go in with the Buford Brawl and
right.
talked a little wrestling, but we'll definitely be talking more as we go forward. Definitely excited about wrestling season. I'm helping out at McCracken again this year, and
Yeah.
also helping recruit at Hardyville. So we had quite a few kids getting in the room today. We got more. I finally got their physical paperwork in, so gonna have more wrestlers in the Loco this season. I'm excited about that. But it's still volleyball season. That May River girls team is still going, carrying the flag for the Loco onto the lower state championship in Class 4A. They'll take on Aiken tomorrow night in what should be a really good matchup. I'm looking forward to that. I was impressed with this May River team when I saw them against South Aiken. They had one bad set. That second set, South Aiken got hyped up and got after them. But man, they bounced right back and dominated the rest of that match.
I think was
And they're
really
so
impressive what
well
they
rounded.
did.
They've got a really good rotation.
Yeah, and I think what really excited me and impressed me was how they fought against Bishop England in that third round matchup,
Yeah,
because there were times, especially when they made it 2-2, it was looking like Bishop
it was
England would
tense.
come right back out there and finish it off in set number 5. But Bay River, going right back to what they do well, and they just have so many players who perform at a high level throughout, and it's tough to hold them down, because they're always going to fight back at you. They have some great servers, and they have a terrific middle hitter. It stems from a couple of players, but everybody seems to perform their role really well. The coaching staff's done a great job. We've seen like them on the verge for a number of years, but now they've started to figure it out, and they kind of got it rolling as the regular season went on and into the playoffs. It just hit the ground running for them. They really found their groove, and from then on, just really solid play, and they just have not made too many mistakes, and have just, like I said, a lot of different young women who have shown out and can make big plays against you. Lauren Swanson, of course, in the middle, but Ariel and Aurora Rick have been outstanding, especially in the playoffs. And then some others like Mia Gruner, who has been kind of the big star, especially in the South Aiken match. She was
Yeah.
everywhere throughout that one, and others as well who have been able to make some big plays in terms of defense, and then setting up the passes. And just been a terrific team effort from this group, and I think they're coming to this Aiken matchup energized and ready to put the best foot forward in this contest, and I'm expecting it to be one heck of a match for the lower state title. Aiken historically has been right there, close to the top of volleyball at the high school league, especially recently when I was there. Aiken was always a powerhouse, and no surprise that they're right back there this year, and getting ready for this matchup. But volleyball has been a sport where it was really dominated by Hilton Head when you look back to the last few years. But now the Sharks have really taken command of that team to beat, to kind of like golf, the May River, and other sports too. The Sharks and these Olympic sports, these Sharks have been very, very impressive, and the depth and the talent is really grown every passing year. But like I said, it should be a terrific match. May River coming in 21-10 overall, but this Aiken team is showing why they're going to be very difficult to beat. But honestly, the difference, the gap between them is very narrow. And if you look at the rankings on MaxBrex, Aiken at number 4 and May River at number 7. So I mean, it's very close, the margin between the Hornets and the Sharks. But they've been tested. Aiken has. They played in a tough region. They haven't lost since September. Actually, no, they lost to North Augusta 3-2. They lost in 5 sets in the 28th. Other than that, they haven't lost since the 14th of September against Londo. So this team has been incredibly consistent throughout the season, and obviously May River knows they're going to have to be on their best game. But that being said, Aiken lost to Bishop England early, so you can make something out of that. It's just like it's there for the taking. And remember, these two teams actually met on August
first match
16th,
of the season.
Now that I'm seeing, so obviously a lot's changed since then. And you know, you can say that you're right with them. That was the first match season. Like, look how better they are now than where they were in August. It just
well, I mean, they lost to Bluffton in September, right? Like, and then they beat them twice in regular season, and they've grown a ton. I wanted to give some credit to Coach Morgan Hedrick and her staff, because I think this is her second season, and they have definitely taken a step up the last couple of years. So she's clearly doing good work over there, and you know, the real measure of a coaching staff, I think, is the improvement you see over the course of the season, and they have improved. They've become a real force. So yeah, as Kevin Libby says, not about how you start, winners finish. And Kevin also says, if anyone wants to become a high school official, volleyball is the easiest call. I would agree completely with that, especially if you draw that line judge job. That's really easy.
Yeah,
they'll just let anybody do that in a regular season game.
When you get to the playoffs, you see the officials do the line calls.
Thank goodness. I think it's insane that they just let any rando call the lines in a regular season volleyball game. Max has joined us. I don't know if he even knows he has. Yeah, he does.
Hi.
What's up, buddy?
Before we looking forward to that one. And by the way, Buford's Own will be on call tomorrow night.
I was going to say, we're looking at the highlights here from the game that was played at Bishop England last week. Thanks to Buford's Own, and Buford's Own once again will be doing the work for us. They're going to be at Aiken tomorrow night for the lower state final, so we get to watch it from the comfort of home, boys.
That's great. Yeah, I'll be tuning in, and we'll certainly play the highlights, and maybe get Javon in if possible. I know we have another guest lined up for tomorrow, if that's correct.
We do, yeah. Hilton Head baseball coach Matt Bowman is going to join us because he's heading up the district-wide toy drive that they're doing, and he's got some information about that, details about how you can get involved with it, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be a cool feel-good community thing, and I'm sure he'll have something to say about BJ Payne's Seahawks too.
Oh yeah,
and his baseball team. I mean, we'll talk a little ball too. You always got to talk ball when you got a ball guy. Yeah, May River volleyball tomorrow night. What time is that?
Before we get to the football brackets, let's talk some USCB basketball because
let's do it.
Yeah, and I think the big story so far has been this guys team, 2-0 and 2 overtime wins. They took down Francis Marion on Friday by 3-1, 4-1, and then another nail biter in the triple digits, double overtime for Emory and Henry, 104-102. And the big man on campus in that ball game, we had him on the Sandchuck Rewind last night. Kenny Gaines dropping 35 and just dominance throughout that ball game to power his Saint Sharks to a win. And there's a lot to like so far about the energy and the play of Ron Vidal's squad through 2 games. I wasn't able to watch any of those yet. Yeah, Max, you get
is Francis Marion, is that a D2 school or is that a D1
yes,
school?
Sir.
I feel like I've heard Francis Marion before.
They're D2. Yeah, they're D2. Okay. They're D1 in golf. but they're D2 in most things. I think that's right. That may not be accurate. At one time they were D1 in golf. I don't know if that's still true, but
I feel like I've heard of them because Charleston Southern has played a Francis Marion before, and I feel like I'm trying to think.
yeah,
because
they're
Charleston
D2.
Southern, yeah,
Hmm.
They've certainly played them in some sports. There's no question
Yeah.
about that, but they are D2.
But
And then Emory and Henry, I believe, is also D2.
yes, they are.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
So no, those are two. I mean, remember last year they started the game with a bunch of NAIA games and stuff like that. So like they're stepping up the competition level and rising to meet it so far.
I think they
That
need
that
to.
was a really impressive
Yeah.
weekend, and now they got another tough weekend ahead up in Pittsburgh, West Virginia area. So with two more, I mean, they're going through the ringer early on, and he's going to see what he's got and
Yeah.
see who can
I think
perform when the lights are on.
Difficult
I
to
think
run.
that's a very smart move because I think if they play well enough, they'll be ready by the time conference play starts. So I think that's
Yeah.
a really smart move for this USCB team to play through the ringer. I know it might be a bit tough at times, but I think it's good to have challenges early in the season. So then when conference play comes around, because conference play again is going to be really challenging as it always is in the Peach Belt. And I think, having to start with D2 programs that are usually on the pretty decent side when it comes to some D2 programs, it's going to be good for USCB to get that action, that challenging action early. So when conference play starts, they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, and I think one thing that they would probably say that happened last year is they were not quite ready for the grind of Peach Belt. Like they were ready to compete, but not twice a week, every week for as long as
Right.
they had to. They kind of got ground down a little bit. And so I think that's part of what he's trying to do this year is put them through the grind early and see how many guys you really got who can go and how deep that rotation can go. And so that you already have kind of worked through some of that stuff before you get there. And I still am not familiar enough with the D2 landscape to really know the context of like, Francis Marion or Embry and Henry, where they fit into the bigger picture. But I
Yes,
know
but
that when you're winning games, neutral site games against
yeah,
D2 teams, that's good. That's a very good thing.
that's what I was going to say. Rather than playing some NAIA teams, while the
Right.
NAIA teams may have some good programs, playing D2 to start off is, I think, the smart move to make if you're USCB.
Yeah. Well, and last year was hard scheduling wise because they couldn't get games. Everybody already had their schedules made, by the time they were making one. So they had a real hard time getting D2 games, and they just kind of had to put together whatever they could. Plus, you didn't want to like go 2-21 or whatever. Like you had to make a schedule you knew you could win a few. To put it into a little perspective, Flagler waxed Francis Marion 85-63, and I'm going to see how they did against the other, just to give us a little perspective. The women's game was frustrating because the injuries already, like it ended up feeling like a exhibition game because they just were so far from full strength, and it happened so fast that it stunk. But Flagler beat Emory and Henry by 12. So,
Okay.
that gives you a little perspective. Flagler's a solid Peach Belt squad. I think they ran us out of the gym down there, right? Last year. That's the loudest gym, they say, and the craziest where the craziness happens. Yeah, they smoked us down there by 29 last year.
Wow.
Flagler did. So, it's looking like we closed the gap a little bit. They beat us by 3 here. So, yeah, I don't know. Trying to make sense of it all early on.
I don't know.
But
I don't know,
they got some dudes though. I know they got some dudes. I know
They
that Dominic Eason,
yeah, I mean,
6'7" freshman.
Yeah. They may say it's a lot of shim down in Flagler, but I don't know, dude. The Cove can get pretty loud at times.
Yeah, it does. But Flagler's got to be super loud because I've been in that building and like Yeah, I think it would be really loud in there. I think the acoustics are wild. But I don't know. Anyway, USCB hoops is off and running. The women are back at home Thursday night, 6 p.m. tip against Allen. Rob Benson and I will be on the call on the Sandchart Game Day Network. It was really fun calling the game with Rob the other day. He was geeking out. It was a bucket list thing for him to get to sit courtside and call a college basketball game. So he was having a great time.
Oh man, he must have been having a blast. I could tell from being over there. But yeah, we'll have that, and then we'll have our pigskin preview.
Yes, sir.
And then,
All right. So we ready to talk some football?
Please.
Let's talk some football.
Right.
All right, let's shout out a few sponsors real quick. The varsity sponsors of Loco Sports. DDS Web Design builds, hosts, and maintains websites. So if you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger, go to ddshhi.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties. Great folks out there helping us continue to shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes on the Loco frontier. Dr. Ambrose Cole, our official chiropractor, he's at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and you can find him there, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. And if you're a wrestler looking to take your skills on the mat to the next level this season, you got to get down to Reverence Wrestling Club, the official wrestling sponsor of Loco Sports and presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind. Reverence Wrestling Club right here in Bluffton. What a treat! What a gem we have right here in Bluffton. All right, boys, let's get the brackets up, and I made us some cool brackets.
Oh,
I mean, I think they're cool. I don't know if you will, but let me see here. Let me share this tab instead. All right. Here we go. Oh, that is a good call. A coffee sponsor is a logical next step, and the Loco Grind is the Arabica blend American needs. Light roast. This is my PSA to people. Light roast coffee has more caffeine. You roast out the caffeine the longer you roast it. So dark roast tastes stronger, but it has less caffeine. I'm trying to get the world to understand this. It's very important to me that you understand this. So here's our brackets. As you can see, I've made some brackets here in Google Docs. The upstate, we don't really care not much about that yet. We'll worry about them when we get to the state championship.
Yeah,
but in
there
4A,
there are some teams to note up in the upstate for potential.
For sure, but we'll worry about that when we get there. Because we don't got to fool with them until the state championship. So we do have to fool with Hartsville, though, because Buford gets in as the 16 seed, and they will go to top-seeded Hartsville, which hasn't lost or tied since very early in the season, and looks really tough right now. If ever the 16 was going to beat the 1, Buford would be a good candidate for it. But
Yes,
I just haven't seen them put it together enough to think they're going to be able to get it done. If they did win, they would get either Darlington or Midland Valley in round 2. Hilton Head, as we mentioned, talking with Troy Timko, they'll be at home against Crestwood in the 5-12 game. The winner will get South Florence or Brooklyn Casey. If it's South Florence, Hilton Head would go on the road. Brooklyn Casey could give them a home game. And in the bottom half of the bracket, Gilbert and Lower Richland, Bishop England draws South Aiken. Bluffton May River in a Loco on Loco matchup, which is amazing. And the winner likely headed to North Augusta in round 2. So there's your 4A bracket, boys. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the first thing that jumps out is we've never seen it before, but having a Bluffton May River, one of the big rivalry now in the Low Country, to have that first round, that's a special opportunity for us as content creators here at Loco Sports, and for the fan base communities in general. And obviously, there's going to be some maybe some bad blood between these two teams, just because tensions are high in a game like this. I mean, you throw that last one out of the window. This is the one that matters, and these two teams are going to be pumped, and we'll see what transpires from between now and Friday. But I imagine it's going to be a lot of energy out there on the field, and it should be a tremendous game. And I kind of feel like May River comes into this one as a team that has more of a chance at this point. But Bluffton, still, despite what we've seen last week, they have a potent offense, and they showed they can beat the May River Sharks and had that clutch win 2 weeks ago. But certainly a new story now with this opportunity for May River to come in here and play the road team themselves in a win or go home game for both squads. So that's certainly awesome to see and a cool thing, because this is the first year that they've had a chance to do that in the first round because of how this playoff bracket is set up. We mentioned earlier that
What's crazy to me, it's crazy to me that May River will literally play back-to-back games against Bluffton.
Right.
Like they didn't even have one in between.
In football, very, very rare to see.
Home and home too.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I know. It's wild. It's amazing.
Here's the thing
so
with-
Libby says, does Bluffton have the juice to repeat versus May River coming off a blowout? A couple of things on that. I was going to too. And what I was going to say is I would have less faith in it if they didn't come off a devastating loss to Bishop England and beat May River the next week. You know, like I think this is a pretty resilient team. And I think if Cordell Hawley's back, then I think they have a real shot to
That's
beat
what
them
I was about to say. I was about to say, if Cordell Hawley is able to return on Friday, which hopefully it kind of sounds like he may be able to. So I'm intrigued to see if he is not able to come back. I think May River wins this, because I think without the running game for Bluffton, I don't, because we saw it last Friday against Hilton Head. They didn't have a running game and they had to rely on the passing game, which is fine. But the other problem was Hilton Head seemed to
Our
figure
man
out.
on the ground says Cordell is back. Jake Parker says Cordell's back in business.
All right, well then that changes things.
I'm glad.
But like I was gonna say,
this game deserves for both teams to be close to full strength.
But I was gonna say, if Cordell Hawley's gone, they were gonna have to do the same thing they did last week against Hilton Head, and against May River, that's not gonna work.
So they were going to have to do something else.
The other thing was we all mentioned how the weakness for Hilton Head's defense was their passing defense, and it was not on Friday. But I think one of the reasons for that is they didn't really have to be worried about the running game for Cordell Hawley, so they could have just played a conservative run defense, but a aggressive pass defense, and I think that's kind of what they did against Hilton Head, because they knew without Cordell Hawley, Hilton Head is a pass-only team, and passing only could hurt you a lot. And so with Cordell Hawley back, I have a little more faith in Bluffton going into this game, but it's the other injuries too, because it's not just Cordell Hawley that was injured this past Friday.
Right. They really missed Isaiah Bastian on the defensive line. He gets good pressure on the edge and takes that outside runaway.
Maybe Jake knows if Ashton's going to be back potentially on Friday.
Ashton Chambers, he went down early in the game, right? And Tyler Wolf's out. He's one of their secondary receivers.
Jake, if you can figure us out, give us an injury report, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, they you're exactly right. They were able to sell out. And May River is going to be able to do the same thing against Bluffton, or Bluffton's going to do the same thing against May River if they can't establish a little bit of a passing game.
Well, I think that's what hurt May River the last time, was the fact that they don't really have a passing game, and they
dared them to pass it and they didn't. And they're going to have to.
The other thing is they don't really have and I credit Tanner Macy because the dude's an animal, but they don't have a quarterback who can really throw the football. And that's one of the things that
he's thrown it more in the past, though. Like, it's there. Yeah, I know it's there.
I think May River's case.
You got to throw it some to get in a rhythm, though. He hasn't thrown it enough.
And I think for that reason, because we all was hoping May River was going to open up that passing game as the season continued, and they really didn't. I'm hoping to see if they try to do that in the playoffs. And if it doesn't work, then try to rely on the running game, which has been great all season long.
The Jake Parker injury report says game time decision with Ashton. Tyler and Bastian are both out for season. Yeah, I knew Tyler.
That's going to hurt them.
Bluffton's able to stop the run. May River. I mean, we saw Hilton Head did with their run game, and they pounded down Bluffton. And obviously, May River is going to have to perform at that same level. But they've seen how Bluffton can be exposed when they're not able to make those tackles, and if they're not full strength on that defensive line, that gives an advantage to May River. in that sense. But Bluffton they're going to need a rebound performance from the offense, and having Cordell Holly back it could be everything in a game like this. So it was that short term memory for the Bobcats. It was a setback last week, but this is a team that you beat 2 weeks ago, and you got to get back on the right footing in terms of mentally. That's everything.
Yeah.
All right, here's your first prop bet: May River over or under 4.5 pass plays. I'll take over.
It wouldn't shock me. I may take the over on that.
I'll take the over.
Yeah.
I think they have to be over if they're going to win the game.
Yeah,
so
they do.
I think they'll be over.
The thing I think that's going to be different with this game is Bluffton came into that game 2 weeks ago against May River fully healthy. They're not going to be fully healthy come Friday.
Well, no, I don't. Was Bastion healthy then? Because he's missed several games.
I don't remember.
Did he get hurt in that game?
Tyler and Ashton,
I know Tyler got hurt in that game.
Yeah, both Tyler and Ashton were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think I'd rather be in May River's shoes than Bluffton's.
Yeah, I agree.
Now,
because May River's had a week off.
Yeah.
They've had time to get ready for this game, whoever they end up playing. And really, if it was Hilton Head that was playing May River, I would think of this as a bit of a different looking game. But the matter of the fact is, it's Bluffton that's playing May River. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I think if it was a Hilton Head May River game, we could be talking a different story here, because even if Hilton Head lost the close one, I still think Hilton Head would have a solid chance against the May River team that's had healthy a week off. But the problem is it's Bluffton, and I don't know if I see Bluffton winning this one.
Defense is going to have to rally. The defense is going to have to bring something
it's going to be
better than what they did Friday night.
If they do win this one, it's going to be in the same way they did it 2 weeks ago, down to the last freaking second to win the game. I mean, honestly, I think that's where it would be if Bluffton wins. Because we all thought, well, apart from me, I called Bluffton to win, but we all thought May River probably would have won that game 2 Fridays ago. And Bluffton won it in the last seconds. And I don't think many people saw Bluffton winning that game. And, it was going to be close. We knew that, but we all thought May River had the edge. I think May River has more of an edge in this game than they did 2 Fridays ago. And I think for those reasons, I'm leaning towards May River because I think they have a better outlook here.
The game.
Good. Jake continues to show his good instincts. Don't think anyone has to worry about either coming in with short term from last time.
No, I think
for sure. Does May River offense benefit from seeing the defense, or Bluffton seeing the same place? I think if anyone benefits in this situation, it's May River. Because they just got a great blueprint for how to beat Bluffton, and it's a blueprint they're capable of executing. And so, I think it benefits them, but it also is a completely different game with Cordell out there, and they know that too. So, I think.
Yeah, Cordell ran them over the last time. So.
He did, and both teams have to make some adjustments on defense. Bluffton has to be much more sound than they were last week against Hilton Head, to be able to stop that running game. And May River's got to be better than they were the first time around, obviously, to beat a team that knocked them off. But that was a razor thin margin at the end of that game. And I think May River executes a 4th and 2 play, we may be talking about, can they beat them again?
Right.
And
I don't know.
I would not. May River's coaches are kind of next level, and as far as like seeing big picture and projecting things out. I would not put it past them to have already had done the math and figured out that these two teams were going to play each other again if Hilton had, if it all happened like this, and held some stuff back. I wouldn't put it past them to have known that. If there's anybody who would have known that weeks ahead, it would have been them. So I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a great game.
Well, then the other question
it's such
would
a toss-up.
The other thing I would say is, which team, because I think North Augusta is going to beat Airport. The question would be, which team out of Bluffton and May River have the better chance against North Augusta? And I think that's another question to ask.
And I don't know enough about North Augusta to tell you that.
I don't either.
Moment.
I'd have to look at some of their
I
film.
mean, Bluffton's
to
a more well-rounded team at this stage.
I agree,
So
but
I
I
think
think
with the healthy
health-wise-
Cordell Holly, I think they're a little tougher matchup.
the
But
other
then
thing would
again,
be
May River is a really tough scout on a short week.
Yeah.
Really tough.
the other thing would be
So-
Cordell Holly. We don't know how healthy we know he's going to be back in the game. According to Jake, he's going to be back for Friday, but we don't know how healthy he's going to be come Friday.
Yeah,
the other
I
thing.
think if he's cleared, he's probably good with that.
Yes,
You
but
know.
he's not. We don't know if he's going to be. Well,
True.
I hope he's 100% because that was a
Yeah,
pretty
Hilton Head did kind of get the tougher side of the bracket, I think. I think that's for sure true.
Yeah,
they
that's
got
kind of a
Crestwood,
murder. If you
dude.
got to go through
Crestwood.
Crestwood, South Florence, Hartsville, that's a murderer's row.
yeah, I was hoping that they would get the opportunity to play Bishop England, but that they did not.
Well,
get
that's
that
what I was thinking. I thought they would end up getting Bishop England.
Yeah, the bracket didn't work.
They got the short side of the stick with this game.
Right, because I think Gilbert's spot is better than Hilton Head's by
I agree.
wide margin.
Yeah, I agree. They get Lower Richland, and then they got to play either Bishop England or South Aiken. I think that's a better road to at least the semifinals than Hilton Head's got, because they got basically Crestwood, and then either South Florence or Brooklyn Casey, which I think they could beat Brooklyn Casey because we saw May River give them.
Sure. Yeah, they would work Brooklyn Casey, but they won't get to play them. So.
No, and that's the thing. They end up having to play South Florence, which is what I was hoping wouldn't happen in Hilton Head's case, because South Florence is very good.
Yeah, because if the
good.
Bluffton May River winner gets past North Augusta, then they got either Bishop England or Gilbert.
Honestly, Crestwood is probably the best 12 seed you could possibly play.
They're strong. They're strong.
That's going to be an interesting one.
But
and luckily for West is going to be out there anyway. So.
Hilton Head's shown us a lot, and I did look up, by the way, Derek Raniszewski, since that 5 interception game against Bishop England, 0 interceptions. That is impressive.
Wow. Yeah, that is very impressive.
All right, we've talked about the 4A bracket plenty long enough. Let's look at the 3A bracket. Again, we won't fool with the upstate for now. Mountain View Prep is probably the favorite to come out of there. There was one blank spot in this bracket for some reason. I don't know what was going on with that. But here's what the section we're zeroed in on. Battery Creek travels to Dillon in round 1. Going to be a tough matchup for them. If they get through there, they would probably go to Newberry. But I think with Battery Creek beaten up the way they are and Dillon being, a perennial power, I don't really like their chances there. So we won't spend a whole lot of time on that one. The 2A bracket, we are
this is an interesting one.
More interested in this one, and it is fun. We got Hampton County at home against Woodland in a rematch of what was a huge game last year that Hampton blew them out for the region title. And then Whale Branch gets a home game that I think is very winnable against Kingstree. Of course, if they get through, they'll probably go to Philip Simmons, and Philip Simmons waxed them early in the season. If Hampton wins their first round, they're likely to go to Manning, which will be a really tough challenge as well. So, no easy task to get out of here, but they're both on the same side of the bracket as well. So,
it's not gonna be easy for any of our teams to get past round 2. I'd love to see it happen, but it gets difficult very, very quickly. So, you hope that one of these teams will be able to find the extra spark on the road, but this bracket's not cakewalk at all. Hampton County, I mean, coming in this year, they were ranked number 1 in 2A at one point, had a downturn these last few games of the regular season, most notably the loss against Barnwell. But you look at this Hurricane squad, it's got to go through Singletary, who has been such a key part of that team on both sides, and Mandrell Sanders defensively. You're going to have to make some stops. That has been the strength of your team, but that wouldn't match up because a lot of those guys from last year are back, and they know they want to get back at Hampton County. So I expect a good performance on the road. It should be a live environment as always.
Well, here's how good Manning is. Yeah, you want a connection here? So Hilton Head's got Crestwood on Friday. Manning started out their season against Crestwood and only lost by 3 points to Crestwood. Now, that's a very good Manning team up there. I have watched a little film. Hampton's going to struggle against Manning if they get to that round. They're going to struggle if they can't figure out how to stop Manning's game because it's going to be tough. Honestly, I think both Whale Branch and Hampton County right now have two of the tougher roads to get to the lower state finals. I don't know, man. I think Whale Branch won't get up past the second round again against Phillips Simmons because I think that Phillips
that's an
really
uphill
strong.
climb.
And then in Hampton's case, I think they can keep it close with Manning, but I don't know if they'll be able to beat Manning at Manning too. That's going to
be tough. That'll be tough.
Yeah,
that'll be tough.
And then Barnwell's got Academic Magnet, and then they will most likely be facing Timberland.
Yeah.
And if they win that one,
I like Barnwell to lower state. I think.
Oh, I agree.
I think they got the easier side of the bracket.
They don't have the
Although
worst road.
East Clarendon and Andrews, that's a really tough first round matchup right there. And
that is too.
Whoever wins that is a problem.
That is
Shiraz an upstate team that got mixed in because I mean they're in that split region. So that's a tough one too. So yeah, it'll be a fun bracket. Kevin Libby says the Hampton Hurricanes look good since Uncle Rico started playing QB. He can throw it over a mountain. He does. Chris Terry do got a little bit of a Uncle Rico look to him. A little bit.
He's got an arm. It's the question I think right now is can they use that passing game?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, they gotta hit a few here and there just to keep people honest.
I think if
they got weapons out there and they gotta use them.
They do, and I want them to use it, especially if they end up playing Manning. If they can do that against Manning, I think it's going to be a really good game between those two.
I still think they're really dangerous, and I think the fact that they've had a little time off here at the end is good for them. They're going to be healthy, and they're going to be hungry. They're going to be chomping at the bit.
I would not.
Their coaching staff will have had time to do some grinding. And game
I would
planning.
not be true to myself if I didn't say that Woodland Hampton County game won't not be a challenging game for Hampton County because I think Woodland's a very good team. They've shot.
I think they know that. So, and there's some bitterness there. So
yeah, and I like that matchup because it's going to be a fun one to pay attention to come Friday because that's a very good Woodland team that's been around this year, and we've seen them play a few Loco teams this season and have absolutely demolished them. So yeah.
All right, let's wind this thing down.
Here we go.
Still got the rest of the week to talk about this. Scotts Branch at Ridgeland. Winner gets Cross. That's going to be tough. Cross is a problem. But I think Ridgeland has played pretty well this year. I'm excited
really
to see.
Good, man.
They've been solid. I'm excited to see what they can do in the playoffs. I like them on Friday night.
How good is Scotts Branch?
Not great. I mean, finished fourth in their region,
Okay.
So, I think they're pretty gettable.
Ridgeland could do this. I'm playing at home
too.
I think Ridgeland has a shot against Cross. I know Cross is going to be a problem, but I think they have a chance there.
I absolutely do. Y'all, what do y'all think about McCain's? Think they can knock off Lakeview?
Lakeview, man. Ooh, that's going to be a tricky one.
Tough.
That is really tough. But granted, they did beat a 2-seed,
Branchville,
2-seed in the playoffs this year.
They
did beat Branchville, so it wouldn't shock me if they went on the road and delivered a shocking upset. They've already done it once this season. Wouldn't put it past them to do it again. But again,
so Branchville's
Lakeview.
Branchville's ranked 15th in the Max Preps rankings. Which bake in a lot of different stuff. Lakeview's ranked 7th, so it's not a huge leap to think that they could knock them off. I will say this: it is a different Hurricanes team than it was just a few weeks ago. They really have turned the corner. And they believe they can win on Friday, and that is definitely half the battle. I don't think they're going to lay down.
Well,
I
I
don't think they're going to lay an egg. So
I liked what I saw from them against Allendale Fairfax. I mean, granted, Allendale Fairfax has been really bad this year, but
and you see what could happen in the second half here, right? Or in the second round here, right? Branchville.
oh, I didn't think about that. Oh
that could
no.
be that could be
Oh.
interesting. That could be interesting.
That could be
So-
very interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Actually, if they get past Lakeview, I kind of like Hardyville Road.
Now Branchville would have to beat Johnsonville, which I don't think is a given. But all right, so you've seen all the brackets. We got to wind this thing down because it's dang near 11 o'clock. So here's the Skiza brackets. This is what we're up against this week. Wilson Hall and Hilton Head Christian Academy in one semi, Pinewood Prep Northside Christian in the other. So Eagles go on the road on Friday against Wilson Hall. Rematch of last year's state title game. So that'll be fun.
Very winnable too for Christian Academy.
Very winnable. Very, very winnable. And then you've got in 2A, we're out of that one, but it's PD and Greenwood, Calhoun, and Bethesda.
I did want to mention Bethesda has a new football field, and I guess they played their very first home game this past Friday on that football field. So congratulations to Bethesda. I hear it's a very fantastic looking field. And
I'm guessing it didn't open a year ahead of schedule, but opened about 12 weeks behind schedule.
Yeah, probably. Wouldn't shock
I don't
me.
think they finished it a year ahead of schedule.
What a way to open up the stadium with a playoff game and a 36-0 win over Orangeburg Prep. Now they got to face Calhoun. Calhoun is a problem, but I have a feeling Bethesda's gonna.
After the way Hilton Head Prep played Calhoun, I like Bethesda in that one.
I really do like
Bethesda PD championship game.
I know technically Bethesda's not a Loco team, but we do follow them often enough to consider.
Yeah, well, they're in our region, like so. They're one of those.
They're only like 45 minutes. They're only 45 minutes down the road from here, so I mean.
Right, they're just in the wrong state. But they compete
but
in our state.
that doesn't matter. They're playing in our state anyway, in pretty much all their sports. So
yeah, we kind of adopt them in the playoffs.
Yeah,
sure.
kind of.
We'll pull for them.
Need to give a deeper dive into it. PD against Greenwood is a good one too.
Yeah, it is. And then in 1A, we still have interests. Thomas Hayward, Dorchester, and Williamsburg, Buford Academy. Two tough games.
Oh.
I mean, I don't like BA's chances on the road really, but I think that Thomas Hayward Dorchester game is going to be really good.
The way Williamsburg played against Patrick Henry, I'm a bit worried if I'm Buford Academy right now because that scored 55-6 against a Patrick Henry team has had some fights, especially against Thomas Hayward. I really don't.
I'm a lot bit worried.
Chances. I'm not.
By the way, if you wondered what happened to Carleton Prep in the rematch with Dorchester, John Wetzel happened. He rushed 40 times for 348 yards for Dorchester Academy.
Holy, well, yeah, there's the difference. My God.
So that guy's a dude.
Well, we didn't see that coming. We honestly did not see that game coming. That score. I didn't see that score coming.
This dude has games of he had 274 against BA.
Was he injured 2 weeks ago when they played?
No,
Prep on their
he had
home turf?
183 yards in that game. They just couldn't get it in the end zone. But
yeah, that's very shocking.
He's apparently something else.
I had high hopes for Cotton Prep. Man. Yeah, that sucks. But
348 yards is a natural disaster. That's about right.
Honestly, I'm liking what I'm seeing in that game between Thomas Hayward and Dorchester. I think that's going to be one.
I think that's going to be a Donnybrook. I think I'm going to do the Ridgeland two-step on Friday. Go check out the Jags.
I would. There are two great games. There are two great games.
Go check out the Rebs for a little bit.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to watch. Really fun to watch. Good Lord, I do like that game.
What a Friday on top of the show. What a Friday of high school football, and something that we haven't with the because we don't get this opportunity to get the full first round of high school league and all the semifinals in Skiza with the way the schedule worked out this year.
Right, it's usually both first rounds at the same time.
I will say what I've seen. I see a potential Thomas Hayward Williamsburg rematch, and I know Thomas Hayward wants to go and play that one.
I'd rather be Thomas Hayward in that one.
2 Saturdays from now in Charleston. I think that's going to be one heck of a game if that
Yep.
comes to be. Unless
Yeah.
Beaver Academy somehow finds
I
a way
will
to
say,
beat
though, don't give up on BA. Don't give up on
I
them.
wouldn't either. I'm not. I wouldn't be
Dietrich
shocked.
Schuford, he summoned some magic this past week, and
Yeah.
he's playing both ways. He had a pick. Like, that man is going to go all out. And
Yep.
so I'm not giving
Well,
up on
I think
him.
they know. I think they know the task they have at hand in this game.
Yeah.
You're going on the road to play a Williamsburg program that has been a state dominance in Skeeza
Yep.
for the last few years. So yeah, I would. I'm a little worried for BA, but I'm not shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if they pulled this game out and pull a miracle out from under. So I think while I don't like Beaver Academy's chances, I wouldn't be shocked if they somehow won this football game against Williamsburg on the road.
I'm trying to remember who Williamsburg's loss was to. I'm looking it up.
Was it Dorchester?
It was PD 25-0 in August.
well, okay.
Cool.
So
Hmm.
they've been rolling ever since.
Yeah.
Not really challenged all that much. Although, Carolina Academy, they beat them 18-0. So Carolina Academy gave some people some problems. But yeah, it's going to be a fun Friday night. But before we get there, we got May River Volleyball tomorrow night. We got some more USCB hoops on Thursday. Hardyville game on Thursday, by the way, at Lakeview. So historic Williamsburg lost the time. different Williamsburg up in Kingstree. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on this week, and we'll keep you posted on all of it. And the Loco Booster Club supports us, so please support them. We got Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court with Charter One Realty. They want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. Eagle Creations will get you set up with promotional items and custom apparel. Plus, they have great custom gifts that you can send to all your peeps for the holidays. Jay's Barbershop is in downtown Ridgeland. They'll get your hair cut and looking right, and you'll enjoy the conversation while you're there. I might have to go hang out at Jay's pregame on Friday. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. Hudson's Seafood House on the Docks is presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. We'll be back with you at 7 p.m. Wednesday. And Hurricane Sports Cafe, if you're out in Hampton and you're hungry or thirsty, pop into Hurricanes and get you something. Tell them we said hi. But fellas, any parting thoughts before we call it a night?
Yes, I do. Give me 1 second. Wes, if you want to go first.
No, you go ahead. What was yours?
Hold on.
No, I think he needed you to buy him time. Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can talk about I had something in mind. The Major League Baseball, some of the awards, the nominees for the awards coming out, including for most valuable player as well.
So timely.
Yeah, the Cy Young Awards, very timely.
They're so timely with their awards.
Yeah, but the Cy Young Awards for the National League, I think, very intriguing. Your guy Chris Sale from the Braves, alongside the sensation rookie Paul Skeens from the Pirates, and Zach Wheeler from the Phillies. So three tremendous arms.
Well, I think we know who's going to win the Cy Young. It is Chris Sale. I mean, but I will give Paul Skeens credit because that dude is another level, and I really do think he's going to be a Cy Young favorite next year. But Chris Sale had a pitching triple crown, so I don't know how he doesn't get the Cy Young this year. He is really I think he's in. Is he on the list for comeback player of the year? Because I really do feel like he should be on that list.
I know Bell has one, but I'm not sure that Major League Baseball does, unless that.
Because if they did, I think he's on that list. Because really, he's had some rough last couple seasons at Boston.
I think they do.
I think they do too. But he's had a rough couple. He had a rough last 2 seasons in Boston, and for him to come back and have a fresh start in Atlanta and do what he did, and really, he was the reason Atlanta got to the playoffs. Because without him, I don't think they would have had him and Marcell Ozuna. I don't think the Braves would have made the playoffs, and they did somehow, some way. Yeah, I know, Justin. You don't like him. I'm not a huge fan of him either, but he gets the job done.
Good at baseball, bad at life.
I think without Chris Sale and Marcell Ozuna this season, the Braves would have never made the playoffs because of all the injuries they had, and it was shocking. It was shocking that they got got to the first, the wild card round, only to lose. But anyway, look, I really think Chris Sale is going to get a Cy Young to add to the. He's got more than one Cy Young, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah. So he's probably going to add another one, but this time it'll be for the National League rather than the American League. So it'd be his first National League Cy Young. So he'll be on a list of very elite pitchers that have won a Cy Young in both American and National League. So that would be really impressive if that does happen.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I was trying to look and see if he won a Cy. He did win a Cy, didn't he? No, he has not. He finished 6th and 12, 5th and 13, 3rd and 14, 4th and 15, 5th and 16, 2nd and 17, and 4th and 18.
He's never won a Cy Young. Wow, that's
No,
shocking.
he finished second to Kluber.
Yeah, okay.
Kluber.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and
Kluber was a animal back
so
in the day.
Kluber was 18-4 with a 2.25, 5 complete games, 3 shutouts, and a 0.869 WHIP that year, a 2.02 ERA plus. Holy cow! Sale was 17-8 with a 2.90, 308 strikeouts, but he had a 1.57 ERA plus. So.
Kevin Libby, that's bonkers. He's the modern day Randy Johnson.
Yeah,
he is.
He really is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I would like to share a couple things. One that's really big that I'll get to in a second. But Justin had to mention, these uniforms last night during the Houston Texans Detroit Lions game, and I just want everybody to see how cool those jerseys are. I was waiting for someone else to say it. I forgot to add it to my list last week. But usually I'm doing college teams, and I never really, get into the NFL teams. Although I do like my Atlanta Falcons red helmets; they are pretty cool. Those throwback helmets, but these are sick. I love these helmets. These are just cool, and watching them on the field was really something special. So I wanted to get that quick. But also, this is coming to Hardyville a few years out from now.
It is.
Buc-ee's is coming to the Ville.
Oh yeah, we've been knowing this.
Well,
I put this on my Facebook status the other day because the mayor let the cat out the bag. But apparently Jalen Sneed's mama knew it for 2 years. That's what she told me. But yeah. We're getting Buc-ee's.
Yes.
About to go get me a brisket sandwich at lunch.
Yes. It will be off of exit 8, which I'm a little worried about because that is not.
Buc-ee's love Buc-ee's nugs. There's going to have to be some serious infrastructure built road-wise.
Well, I think that's the plan because this is not expected to open until the year 2028.
Right.
Because I believe they are doing. They're widening the interstate. They are widening the interstate. Once those are done, while they're building those, they're going to be building this Buc-ee's, and once that project on the I-95 is done and they re-infrastructure the exit at exit 8. Which
I suspect there'll be some serious frontage road and all that stuff.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, where they're placing it is on the side where the fireworks store is off of exit 8, for those of you who know that exit well enough to know where the fireworks store is. So I think it's on that side of the exit. I'm excited. They're opening a Buc-ee's. They're opening a Buc-ee's in Brunswick come next year, and I will be going.
Allegedly, we will get that port someday.
That's the big thing out spot, is it, for especially teams and athletes? So there's at least some.
Yeah,
and sports reporters too.
Oh yeah, I mean, once you go, you either are all in or all out. That's the thing.
By the way,
basically like Cracker Barrel and the front part of Walmart where they have all the as seen on TV and kitschy stuff had a baby. That's Buc-ee's.
Yeah, but
by the way,
but also all the snacks imaginable.
Yeah, but we got to go back
Excellent
to the big news, because hey, we're the monkeys, and people say we monkey.
The monkeys. Have they? I don't think they've captured all of them yet. I think there are still some at large.
Also, I wanted to mention about this Buc-ee's. They're confirming the store will be around 74th that Buc-ee's store in Hardyville will be around 74,000 square feet.
How
Which,
dare-
if that's the case,
Respect the classic rock band, the Monkees.
Oh, I love the Monkees.
the Monkees are cool.
ES.
They're very cool. I do like the Monkees.
Yes.
I was gonna say, the Buc-ee's store, when they build it, is expected to be around 74,000 square feet. Which, if that's the case, it will be, when it's built, the largest Buc-ee's they have ever built.
World's largest Buc-ee's, Hardyville, South Carolina.
Yeah, but every time they keep building a new one, it gets bigger and bigger each time. Like the one in Sevierville, Tennessee, which I've been to multiple times. That one was the biggest at the time, and then they built a bigger one, and then they built another bigger one. And so I feel like when this is built, it will be cool. We will be, for a period of time, the largest Buc-ee's ever built. There is one being built in Brunswick area, and there's one in Florence. I would, if I had time in my day, I would drive to Florence just to go to Buc-ee's and get me some beaver nuggets and a brisket sandwich. I would do it.
Oh, that brisket sandwich. Those are my two faves as well. The tots are pretty good too. The beaver, whatever
they are
good
called,
tots. Beaver tots or whatever.
Their coffee,
I love me
their
some
coffee
Buc-ee's.
bar. Their coffee bar is.
But I understand why people are out on Buc-ee's too. Like I get it. It almost gave me a panic attack the first time, and then once I knew what was going on, I was all in. Now we can do it efficiently.
I will say this: it will bring hundreds of jobs to the Hardyville, Jasper County area, which is huge for the area.
Just cleaning bathrooms alone.
Yeah. I think
largest Buc-ee's, greater than being known for losing science monkeys. That was in Yemassee, not the Ville. We didn't lose no monkeys in the Ville.
But not wrong. But I will say, it will bring around anywhere from 300 to 500 jobs to the Hardyville area, that's crazy to think about. That's going to be huge economic impact for the area. So yeah, plus it pays really well from what I hear. So
did I show you guys the monkey socks? Did I show you guys the monkey socks I ordered? Yeah.
Yes, you showed us, didn't you?
I don't know if I did or not, but
I do like them. I would buy a pair if I had money.
I ordered my pair immediately. I could not help myself. South Carolina monkey business.
Is hilarious.
Viral.
That's still the funniest thing I've seen in the last week.
A viral news sensation around the country, right here in South Carolina.
I gotta get a picture of those.
They're fabulous. They're absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get them. I look forward to it. I may have ordered an extra pair.
You know what? They're only $15. I might buy a pair.
and there was a coupon code for 20% off, so they were actually yeah. They had these things out 4 days ago, bro. They were on top of it.
Oh yeah, they were
on top of it.
Yeah.
Cat. I'm getting clawed by a cat down here, boys. It must be time to wrap this thing up. So we'll bring it in for a landing. But thanks to Troy Timko for jumping on tonight. Terrific interview with him. What an impressive dude. And hope he is at full strength on Friday for a big game against Crestwood. Thanks to Steve Deanna for helping set it up as well. Appreciate you and what you do for student athletes in the Lowco. He helped Zion find his spot. Now he's trying to help Troy find his spot. Thanks to all of our sponsors, especially the OGs, Mickelson Law Firm. And thanks to all of you who showed up to listen or watch, especially Kevin Libby, our man in the comments, and Jake Parker with some terrific behind-the-scenes reporting, bringing it to the show.
Thank you, Jake.
We're gonna have to get him on the show. He's got good.
Yeah.
But I think we got to get him reporting.
Come on, join us, man.
Thank you, fellas, for being the great wingmen that you are. Appreciate you. And let's do it again tomorrow night. We'll see what happens with the May River volleyball team and probably talk some more football and talk with Matt Bowman as well about the big community-wide toy drive that all our athletic departments are taking part in. So we'll see you tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Should be a good time for Max Araj and Wes Kerr. I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Loco.